Good morning. Good morning to one and to all. Happy Saturday. Happy December and happy holidays to those who celebrate. I would like to first begin by extending a virtual rose and love from a distance. Thank you to all of my members, my subscribers, my moderators, and those who happen to drop by from time to time to support, whether you are visible or listening from the proverbial bushes. You are appreciated as well. Now, in my thumbnail, you will see some chickens and the word retribution. And let me give you the textbook definition of retribution, and then I'll go forward, and I promise not to take too much of your time. The first begins punishment inflicted on someone as vengeance for a wrong or criminal act. Then there's a question: is retribution like revenge? There is an important distinction between the two. Revenge is privately administered system of punishment, whereas retribution involves a state-administered public system. This distinction is important, though it implies the essential community of the two practices rather than their difference. I'm saying this to say many are experiencing that very word as we speak, and as some listen. Also, I noted as a disclaimer, this is not to offend anyone. And if it does not apply, let it fly. And I think that will cover the majority of individuals. However, let me make something really clear. After my live last night, which was excellent, and I would like to also thank again the Honorable Judge Joe Brown for again blessing me, this platform, and the masses. And I'll come back to that momentarily. But I saw another one. Actually, I saw the preview when I was out working. And after my live, I listened, and it took everything I had not to say anything. Well, I did type a response, but as far as actually speaking, I did not. Good morning, Darren. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you. Welcome to those who are here from Facebook and YouTube. Your reputation follows you. Your reputation truly follows you. And again, Let me be clear. I am not perfect, nor is anyone. Period, point blank. But when you know better, you should do better. You cannot go around wreaking havoc anywhere, professionally and personally, and not think sooner or later you will be called to the carpet. There are some that actually fit in that category. They say certain things are a quote unquote hell of a drug. So is the need or want for certain types of attention. That can lead you deep down into a rabbit hole. Many of us that I have seen and observed truly support others and they care. Keep in mind, dealing with individuals on social media, and I had to learn this the hard way. You will find that just like at the workplace or in families, it's interchangeable. There may be some that may not get along. Sometimes there is a complete cessation of communication, which, in my opinion, is probably the best route to take so you won't get caught up in any unnecessary drama or the he said, she said, because that also can lead to unnecessary issues. That said, if you are aware, knowingly aware, that an individual has snaked or has exhibited behavior and characteristics that they cannot be trusted, how is it that grown adults do not think that they too one day could be on the receiving end of the same thing? Now again, it is known, or should be, you cannot control how a person may feel about you or your behavior. You may be on the receiving end of some unpleasant words. That's not against the law. What is against the law, and I've mentioned this so many times, is threats, harassment, defamation, slander, and libel. And some of you still do not understand that concept. I consider myself still a novice at this time, but through networking, researching, and what I already know, some of you just don't get it. And some of you actually have seen the results of such behavior. There are certain things that should be, as human beings, off limits. Unfortunately, again, there are some people out here that are extremely cruel, and they will say some of the most denigrating, hurtful things. And while your first thought may to be to exchange and the back and forth, I've had to learn over the months. Eventually, after you do what you need to do according to your situation, you need to put that aside and move on with your life. Because one thing for sure, two for certain, some things cannot be taken back, and time is something you will never get back. None of us are getting any younger. And if you pay attention to the news or read any publications, you will see many people are expiring either through violence or perhaps taking their own lives for a myriad of reasons. In reference to a broadcast, actually there were two, and I've mentioned this before. In between breaks, I listened to several different people. There are so many people on social media, not just YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. There are other areas, but there are millions of people out here. And a lot of them have positive information to share, do it yourself, and other little goodies. That's what I like to call them. I saw this page the other day where the young lady was actually painting, and it was, her skill set was brilliant. I forgot what country she's from, but I was just enamored by her talent, which was raw talent. I'm saying that to say you never know who is where and who sees what. Unfortunately, in the very beginning, there were certain things I did not see. And I've said this before. And upon completion, this will make or should make sense to those that may hear this now or later. I did not know about certain things, even though I was warned my having compassion and something similar was the basis for that alignment, if you will. I continued to have what you would call warnings, so to speak. And again, my words, and hopefully this is verbatim, I said I would not make any changes unless I observed any types of behavior with my own eyes. Well, that did come to pass, and changes were made. The majority, not all, because I haven't heard all, and really don't need to. But things that I have heard have been 100% the truth. Again, your behavior follows you. A manipulating and plotting spirit follows you. Strangers, unbeknownst to you, can feel that. And I have always said it is not what a person says, but their actions and behavior. And if they don't line up, then it's your responsibility to observe. Because again, there could be situations that we don't know about that may lead to a character change or something that would cause one to deviate from the norm. That's something that can be understood and with conversation worked out and not even be an issue anymore. It could be moot. But be mindful of those who pray. And when I say pray, good morning, Drizzy. Those who prey, P-R-E-Y, on others for their own needs. These are people who lay in wait, watching a situation, and then may appear to be kind and caring. And I'm not to say that they're not, but trust and believe there is, in my opinion, an underlying motive. And that too has come to pass. You cannot pay me enough to convince me that every day, every waking day, you're plotting, planning, or you have something negative, and evil to say against one, two, or a group of people. No worries, Drizzy. Eventually, it's going to be called out, and it's been called out several times. In my opinion, there is absolutely no need for one, whether it be male or female, to list your accolades. I would have thought by now that would have sunk in. Obviously, it hasn't. And again, as I've mentioned before, there are some people, some that are gullible and easily influenced. Now, that influence could be from a personal situation where you may feel vulnerable, and that ear is what you need. And it may bring you comfort, or that motivation could be monetary, which that revelation, if you will, has also come true. Now, I have spoken, as I try to, with others when there's an issue. And I have said specifically, you are going to end up in a situation that is going to be detrimental to you. That began what I believe a hiccup, if you will, but I'm thankful for it because just about everything I have called is playing out. See, one thing a lot of people don't understand is when you have faith. Good morning, Platinum and Gold TV. Happy Saturday. And you know in your heart you are doing the right things, you're covered. Now that covering comes with pain and obstacles, but eventually you'll get through it. So that little nugget, I'm sure somebody should glean something positive from. But back to what I was saying. And the comment was taken or received in a way that I did not deliver it. And rather than speak on the phone, the preferred method was text. I'm like, okay. And now here we are. And no, to that individual, I didn't wish anything. I gave you a warning that you chose to ignore. Not only that, you told some things that were untrue. And because of the language used between a few people, that's a telltale sign of conversations going on. Now, there is millions of words in the dictionary. However, if you're using the same type of quote unquote lingo, it's pretty much safe to say there are conversations being held. These are not allegations. These are actual facts. Reasons given for not being available were not true. And it was proven by another individual and you popping up on my timeline. Now, I'm not going to go into the location or with the individual you were with, but that totally debunked your reason, and I won't say excuse, I'll be kind and say reason for not being available for a video, which is fine. Actually, as I said, this is all worked really to my benefit. You cannot use people, and when I say use, I mean interact and align yourself just for your coming up, if you will. And you know when that is in your heart, that's the only reason, because eventually it'll backfire. And at no time, again, this is my opinion, should you exhibit braggadocious behavior. No, it is extremely acceptable to share your accomplishments, to show others that may be facing the same issues what can be done with hard work and tenacity. Going out and doing the work. But when I say braggadocious, I'm speaking about those that tend to throw certain things in others' faces. That does not come from a place of good at all. Some people have real life situations and they should not be put down for that. Hey there, Miss Queen, how are you? They should not be put down for that. There are so many things in this world that could happen to people where they are put in situations and they're trying to rebuild. I hope you do realize the same things can happen to you. Some of the same things have happened to you, allegedly. There are some people talk, 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 and do nothing. You have others that actually do the work. I, for one, as many others, are growing weary of these cancers, if you will, that spread in social media. I am a strong believer in the transference of energy. I've said this so many times. And again, it's come to pass. And I'm laughing because it's almost a year to the date. And the funny thing is, some people think others don't see through their BS. And again, just because no one specifically calls you out, don't think things aren't observed. Many people, for some reason, and I wish, honestly, that this type of thinking would end, but you can't stop people from believing what they want to believe. To me, it would be the intelligent adult thing is to find out what that person is about before you make any assumptions. Again, people make mistakes. They don't know certain things unless they're affected by it. But thanks to Miss Queen Snow Bunny, and you come in with different names, so I don't know whether it's you or not. Hold on, let me get my other device where I can actually tell. Because where I was last night, okay, it's you. There were so many trolls that I couldn't believe it. There you go. I've got to be extremely careful. But you have been like a positive breath of fresh air and actually showed about different creators and different content that actually has blown me away, while others sit in the same spot and continue to cause problems for others. Problems meaning getting into the ear, as I said, of those who may be vulnerable or because they haven't felt yet that wrath. Everyone over the age of 50 is not bitter or evil or plotting and scheming. There are many that I've seen in other areas who have so much to offer, so many things. You would be just floored with the things that people actually teach or involved in, instead of the backstabbing and the motives. So for those that keep saying older women, please limit that to the women that you know are exhibiting these behaviors, because trust and believe, not everyone over the age of 50 is involved in that type of BS. They're not. I wanted to make that clear as well. Some of the behaviors on here, it's absolutely an embarrassment. And to those, in my opinion, that support some of these behaviors, and again, some is just light jokes or quote unquote roasting. I get that. You're on social media, you're not exempt from it. But I'm talking about that deep seated dark place where many seem to go willingly. And I have asked, and either by obliging my request or by the Spirit, slowly some of those individuals don't come on this platform. And that's not a bad thing. It's actually good because, again, I don't want that energy, number one, to permeate my spirit or anyone who chooses to come here. Now keep in mind, everyone doesn't think alike. Everyone isn't going to get along. But I am not going to deal with any deep disrespect hurled at anyone that comes into this chat. I don't do it in others, and I would expect that you have that same respect here. But again, the behaviors, some of the things that are said and have been said, deplorable, and again, an embarrassment. Someone made a comment yesterday that you don't see other cultures doing this. Now, while I will say what we see is a lot of us bringing one another down or not truly edifying, but just because you don't see other cultures going through that doesn't mean it doesn't occur, because I've seen it. Every little area has issues within their households, if you will. The difference is not everyone airs their dirty laundry. Some people, from my observance, are like little ants who found a crust of bread They'll scurry over to that, bring it to one house, then they'll bring some more to another. They'll bring some more to another, bring some more to another, and start unnecessary issues everywhere that they go. Everywhere that they go. If everywhere you go, you have a group, not one or two, but several people that has something negative to say, it's time for you to take a long look in the mirror at yourself and ask the question, what is it that I'm doing? Or what is it have I done? And what was the purpose of my doing that? Now, I'm not going to sit here and pull out receipts and be messy. That it's enough of that going on. But I have absolutely no reason to embellish on anything. And as I've said many, many times, a lot of you don't really truly know some of the dirt that has been done. You've seen some of it, but you don't know all of it. And unfortunately, in my opinion, it all falls back because in the very beginning, when it was noticed, it was not addressed. And sometimes when you allow behaviors to continue, it begins to spiral out of control. And then it contaminates so many people where because of a recent or perhaps past association, people don't even want to come back on your platform. And again, you cannot change or dictate where someone goes, but keep in mind, you got to be careful, extremely, extremely careful with whom you allow in your home and who you allow or who you allow yourself to trust to a certain degree. That's something that most people know, but again, there are a lot of us with huge hearts and we don't truly know motives. And the ironic part is the ones that you think are the issues are absolutely the exact opposite. They actually support you more than the ones that will say, I'm your biggest supporter, when you haven't supported a damn thing other than causing a lot of dissension. You need to take accountability for your behaviors. To sit there and place yourself up on a pedestal I don't know where people get that from, but you've been knocked off several times, and that can't be a good feeling. And while I don't cheer for it whatsoever, it might be a divine message letting you know perhaps you should stop what you're doing. Again, you don't know who's where and who sees. And I actually saw and heard for myself. And what I observed was a complete change of demeanor. Now, with those you're comfortable with, there's a little bit of bass in your voice. But the latest, there was no bass. You allowed the worst disrespect. And in my opinion, it was for your own motives. Now, can I put that in gold and seal it off and send it away? No. But my observations, which are usually lately on point, is exactly what happened, and unfortunately, the subsequent result. There are many individuals I have noticed, and again, people are people, and that's just how it's going to be. But there are many, and the veterans, and I'm learning just by watching how they interact. They see it. The trolls who pop in, who are only worried about numbers as opposed to getting information out and truly networking and helping one another build. We hear this often, but we don't always see that. Let me see who this is. Christmas Seekers Reblocks Doors. I've never seen you here before, and you're saying the what? For what reason? Anyway, the veterans, as I said, they see what's happening, and for the most part, they ignore and keep it moving. They'll go other places and make their little remarks. Again, you should applaud those who are doing well and not put them down. And again, this is just my opinion. Everyone has a season. Your season may not come yet. Again, that is something I am not worried about at this time, and I may not be. I have other goals that I'm working on, but I do not like some of the things that I see, and if you truly want to be a leader and provide a blueprint for others to follow, then you must be the architect of that blueprint and walk into what you're providing for other people. I don't see that in some. That goes for men and women. Some may say the same about me because we all have opinions. But you're not going to hear me say certain things, nor have I ever. That's just not going to happen at all. There are some, unfortunately, I think may have been offended if I've asked not to bring certain things to my attention. And it's not because I don't care, but if that area, if I say, doesn't support or hasn't, what business is it of mine? Knows what's going on. And that's another thing. Those that are bringing things back, that you're in several different areas and you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there are some issues going on, then again, no offense, you're being messy too. And a lot of men are messy. And I will say this again. If you're supporting anything that may not be looked upon in a positive way, and your positive may be different than someone else's positive, don't judge anyone else. In fact, take that back and let those individuals know this isn't right or this doesn't sound right. If you feel that strongly about it. It's as simple as that. And yes, I'm aware of certain plants, but again, in time, that too shall come to pass. Next, I have said as I said, it's December the 17th. I have been through some things, personally and professionally. Social media wise, yep. But after some time and doing what I needed to do, for the most part, it subsided. Others, for some reason, still push the envelope just a little bit. But see, everybody is not going to let things go depending upon what it is. And I remember specifically saying, I've forgiven many people, not for them, but for myself, so that I could move on and do the things that I need to do. And I've been doing that. And in doing so, some doors have opened. While others are still in the cesspool of behavior that unfortunately is going to land some of you in a quagmire that's going to be extremely difficult to remove yourselves from. There are certain behaviors you should know you should not be doing and not think there are consequences to follow. And to those who cheer and encourage, you need to take a good look at yourselves as well. Number one, if that can be done to someone else, what makes you think one day it won't be you? Or when karma decides it's ready to come knocking at your door, that it misses you and hits someone or something that you truly cherish. You ever think about that? And lastly, and I've said this before, but I think it bears repeating. Discords can be subpoenaed. So for those who did not hear me or may catch this on a replay, discords can be subpoenaed. So for those of you who may be dilly-dallying around with those, be mindful, because you never know what can fall in the lap of people and just filed away. Hopefully, somebody will learn something from that little nugget right there. Yes, retribution has already come for some, and it's coming for others. Some of you don't even know these people. And when I say no, you have absolutely no clue, but you're hoisting them up. I hope you don't get caught up in the net of mess that's forthcoming. That has absolutely nothing to do with me. Let me make that clear. But as I said, things just sometimes seem to fall in my lap. And again, I warned about this a long time ago. A long time ago. Fell on deaf ears. You know, some people have been truly sincere and have reached out because they didn't know certain things. Others had no issue. But then when it came back, the whole energy changed. See, that's what happens. You know, some of you males, you need to, in my opinion, start really speaking to elders, reputable, respected elders. Because some of your behavior, in my opinion, is irresponsible and leaves a lot to be desired. But again, some of you are motivated by numbers. And to me, that's truly sad because in a way, you're almost selling your soul. And at the end of the day, you may end up having to ask yourself, was this truly worth it? The Honorable Judge Joe Brown said yesterday, and he was speaking directly towards men. And the question was, if you can look yourself in the mirror and say that you've done something that was truly that of what a man would do, and proud about it, and that you should be thinking about if what you're doing is something that your family or others could look back on and be proud of. And in my church, that's considered or looked upon as legacy living. What is it that you can show or people would remember you as in a positive way of giving back, whether it's helping others, motivating, inspiring. It's not always money. And that's where a lot of people, I believe, get caught up. Money or being seen. I don't want all of that. Never have. I've always been pretty much behind the scenes. Too many people, depending upon where they are in their minds, that can bring trouble. And again, certain associations can bring trouble to you and what you're trying to build. I guess the takeaway in all of this is when you knowingly plot, scheme, to hurt others, sooner or later, there will be a price to pay. And the question is, at the end of the day, when you take a moment to sit back and think, was all of this worth it? And I'm not a betting person, but I would think many would say, no, it wasn't. There are so many people that have so much to offer that falls in line with Black excellence. And that will be, unless there's a time change, Monday at 2 o'clock p.m. Dr. Lanice Bias, a motivational speaker and the mother of Len Bias. Good morning, Justicia. How are you? If you want the epitome as far as women is concerned of Black excellence, then I would implore you, if you do not catch that broadcast, to research. I'm quite sure you would not see nor hear her exuding and exhibiting some of the behaviors shown on social media. And that goes for any sector or area, any platform. Also, shout out to Writers for Life who came by yesterday and was afforded the opportunity to speak to the Honorable Judge Joe Brown, who was very impressed with her going out and doing the work. Not just talking, but actually going out and doing the work. That speaks volumes. And her friend had the opportunity to speak to him as well. So again, you never know who you may meet in this journey called life. And yes, we all make mistakes from time to time, but once you know better, you should do better. And for some of you, again, if it does not apply, let it fly. But for some of you who are really, in my opinion, putting some of us back years. Do a reassessment, because obviously people may not be letting you know truthfully about your behaviors and your actions. And if you're doing anything that's against what is recorded in the Word, and your supporters know this, yet continue to not make you aware, or maybe they do, and you ignore it, that also says a lot. And if you really are a believer, and trust me, I am, and I know when you are not obedient, you can be sat down where you have nobody or nothing to look to other than His Word. And again, if your actions and what comes out of your mouth doesn't align, that's a problem. And again, I repeat, those that truly care about you, because I've been checked by people, several times as a matter of fact, that shows that they care. Those that don't say anything and allow you to do and say some of the things that you do, that's not caring or love or genuine support. It truly isn't. At least not the way I look at the word support, care, and love. Be careful of how you treat people. Eventually, it comes back. As I've said, I have met some super awesome people on here that has absolutely helped me in several ways. And I have thanked them. And will continue to support. Some I have to do from a distance, but I support them, especially one who, as I said, and I will never, as long as I live and breathe, forget when I had a medical crisis, this person stopped what they were doing, which was extremely important, and put my needs first. So I will never, ever say anything negative at all. And I haven't. Now, some others, I haven't said too much, but enough that you should know, well, a couple of you should know, some of the things truly did not have to go the way that they did. It was foul. And unfortunately, as the picture in the thumbnail shows, the chickens have come home to roost. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, you have no one to blame but yourself, because you are adults and you should know better. And listen, when people try to explain things, but because you were on your own BS time, you didn't stop to think. Hopefully now you've had some time to think about people who truly supported you and had your back. And because you did not want to communicate the way adults should, and oftentimes without true communication, things can be misconstrued. You find yourself where you are. And those, unfortunately, that follow haven't woke up yet from the cloth being over their eyes. Some have, but that too shall come to pass. Yes, platinum and gold, karma is absolutely real. Trust me, I've been on the receiving end when I was much younger and didn't know. They say when you try to dig a hole for someone, dig one for yourself. Many people think because years can go by that all is forgotten. Those who are true believers, the Creator never forgets. And what you may do when you think no one else sees, the Creator sees. And sometimes people and or things on this side of this world may see or hear. And you know not the slightest of who they may know. That's the dangers in certain behaviors. And again, this was not to offend anyone. It's the truth that I believe some, not all, but some need to hear. I mean, some of us actually see it playing out. I've had to take many licks And the sad part is, it's because of my support for other people. But again, that has come to pass. And unfortunately, some people didn't get the memo and tried it elsewhere. And now the chickens have come home to roost. And the sad part is, there's already a paper trail. A paper trail that cannot be refuted. Some things cannot be deleted, erased, scrubbed like many of you may believe. And I'll repeat, discords or any other apps can be, if needed, subpoenaed. So I would, and this is just me, I would be extremely careful before dabbling in certain things because others may have done it, because you have absolutely no clue what may be going on. I think a lot of you think things are a joke until you get a knock on the door or a piece of mail. So to avoid unnecessary heartache or perhaps money or seeing what you worked for so long crumble, be mindful of what you're doing out here. You don't truly know all of these people. You don't truly know motives. You don't know conversations that may be occurring. And you do not know how long a person's reach could truly be. Absolutely, platinum and gold. Some are stuck in their comfy ways. No worries, just Valencia. I'm about to head out, but I was up listening to this broadcast in and out, and it was just on my mind. Again, I harbor, and this is honest and truthfully, I harbor no resentment towards anyone. As I said, people are human. People do and say things. Some actually may be sorry for some of the things that they say, but because of pride, may not allow them to reach out. I understand that because I was like that for a while. But then on the flip side, you have some spirits who are just dark. And when your spirit is truly, truly dark, people can feel that. People can feel that. That's just something to think about. If I did not have a sincere, genuine spirit and favor, doors that have opened for me, and let me make this clear. Numbers, to me, and there are a lot of people that'll say, those that say numbers um, don't mean anything to them, that's not true. Well, in my case, it doesn't. I am here, honestly, to network, to learn, get acclimated, again, in other areas that I didn't even know exist, because I have a larger goal in front of me. Now, there are some on here that are absolutely doing a thing. Hey, Lakin, how are you? Hopefully, I will have a date for who you're waiting on and who I'm waiting on. But some of you, you all need to stop. Hey, Unity. Good morning. How are you, sir? And thank you so much for yesterday. I really, truly wanted you to come up and have your opportunity to connect, but hopefully next year you'll feel comfortable in doing that. Don't think I put you on the spot, but I know that that's somebody that you admire. So many of us do, that I wanted to give you that opportunity because you've been so kind. But as I was saying, there's so many people with just evil ugliness in their heart. It's crazy. And Unity, I don't know if you received it, but I sent you my email yesterday. I sent you my email yesterday. If you received it, let me know. If not, I'll send it again. But as I was saying, bottom line, you reap what you sow. No, I don't agree with everything. Things that I say, there are people that are not going to agree, but I've been on this earth long enough, longer than a lot of you, and have been through quite a bit. And as I said, when you are truly sincere, okay, Unity, make sure that you use it, please, when you get the opportunity. Thank you. When you're truly sincere, as I said, certain doors will open and things afforded. And again, a lot of people just worry about numbers. And again, at this point, I don't. It's about, again, networking and truly getting to know different areas, uplifting people, and offering others the same opportunity. Like some of those that follow in here. Unity has a lot to offer. Even though he's a supporter, wealth of knowledge, Lakin, Just Valencia, platinum and gold, and this lady right here. So don't allow numbers to dictate, because you never know what is outside of one particular sector. There's so much music. As I said, I went to a page where this lady, Lynn, as a matter of fact, is her name, just started painting. I don't know what inspired her, but she just started, and it was just amazing to watch. So you don't have to get caught up in the muck and the mire that a lot of people, that's all they have. Some, of course, they mix it up, but again, if that is all you have to offer, again, I would look at you first. I would look at you first. And examine your spirit. And again, for those who say they're believers and they sit there and say things, and those who were on my broadcast yesterday, we were speaking about a certain case, and I mentioned the book of Leviticus. Something's not right. Or as the real elders, I'm not quite there yet, something's not jiving. And my Bible told me, no. Can I recite every scripture? Absolutely not. But I know where to go in that book when I need assistance. And it doesn't steer me wrong. Again, there are seasons. Some people may not be in their season yet of blessings, Boaz blessings. Some are. The thing is, some people are looking at it from the outside or as newcomers. You may not know how long an individual may have been working to get these blessings that some see now. And honestly and unfortunately, have negative things to say about it. To me, that's wrong. You have some people, and I won't mention their name, that has a kind heart and gives so much, and I know it's going to return tenfold. But unfortunately, those with hearts like that, either they are taken for granted, and I can say that because I know. Oh man, a Shevitz, do I know? Or you'll have irrelevant people to make negative remarks because someone has made the choice to be kind to someone else. That's a backwards way and childish way of thinking. And truthfully, nothing, nothing good comes of that behavior whatsoever. With age comes, let me rewind that. With age should come wisdom from experience and listening and hearing other people. They've been through it. They've struggled and made ends meet. And yes, I'm sure they had their squabbles back in the day, but some of the things that are done on social media, deplorable, and as I said, it's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. People look at that, and unfortunately, even in 2022, many of us with a darker hue are still being judged. So no matter how many awards and accolades I can put up, all of the work that I've done, my connections, is zeroed out if you see and hear verbal soft porn on social media. Because small minds in large places, because unfortunately some are still programmed like that, will automatically put you in that same box. And that opportunity that's almost in your hands will be gone. Perfect example. I had to go to Annapolis one day to meet a client. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Annapolis, Maryland. It's a beautiful, beautiful area, but in some parts, racism is still alive and well. I parked my car. I didn't plan to be inside long. The person was of another race. Very kind, very kind. Actually, if I needed something, that's one of the people I would call. But her neighbors, a few doors down, obviously didn't feel the same. Because when I went back to my car, which, by the way, I had the window down, and I left my keys on the seat. Yes, I know I should not have done that, but again, I was running in and out. And the area, I'd been around there before, but again, that's something after that, will never do again. And I came back out. These two gentlemen, they must have been either in their very late 60s, early 70s, were walking their dogs, and my keys were gone. And when I asked one of them, did they see anybody around my car? Because I just literally stepped out for a moment. The taller one said, "You didn't park close enough to the curb." Well, maybe my tire wasn't directly on the curb, but there was plenty of room for anyone who needed to get by to get by. So, just the tone of his voice and the fact that they had red caps on their heads with four letters, which I will not say, but it began with M. The other one said, "You people, you people never do anything right." I had to say, "Excuse me, you people." Now, I just mentioned they were walking their dogs. I love animals. I lost both of mine. They were Pomeranians. One lived for 15 years, the other lived for 17. They were my babies. But anyway, I love animals. The other one kind of, I'm not going to say yanked, but put a little bit of strength to get his dog away from me as if I was carrying some type of plague. And the shorter one said, "Next time you may not be as lucky." And they continued walking their dogs. Now, the old me who has a lot of my mama in me would have given them the business. And the funny thing is, my mama, same color as them. This was 2021. So again, I had to hear, "You people." Platinum and gold. I am off of 70. And if you have been to your granny's home, Frederick, I believe, is off of 80. Matter of fact, one of my colleagues is out in Frederick, but I'm near Sugarloaf Mountain. Yes, Unity. So when I got in the car, I was heated. And when I get really angry, I mean, when I get extremely livid, I'll start to cry. Not like the boo-hoo, ugly cry, but just the anger type cry. And I'm like, I cannot believe these two older bleep, bleep, bleeps said that to me. I did not impose a threat on either one of them nor their pets. But I had to endure hearing you people. And this is why that I say that how some of us conduct ourselves on social media, you put others in situations like that because they think if this group acts like this, then everyone acts like that. And that's not true. People are truly quick to judge. And I don't know how many people have to continue to say this over and over and over before some of you finally get it. Behavior, humility can carry you a long, long way. As I said, it only takes one person who can see your potential or something about you that they believe in. I'm small. Got a good little group of people, and it's comfy to me. Again, I'm not into the numbers or anything like that. At this juncture, I'm really not. I am super elated with the people I've been able to connect with several times. To me, and the sponsorships with those two, I couldn't ask for a better ending of 2022. And all of them have been super kind to those in the chat. And Unity, you were there yesterday. This man, this, many would say elder, but his mind is not that of an elder, still in shape and so filled with wisdom. Congratulated writers, not just heard her, but listened to her and engaged with her. How many times do you really see that happening? So this is how blessings work. They should be a domino effect. You get a blessing, you bless someone else, they get blessed from it. And again, blessings should not be synonymous with money all of the time. Sometimes just networking can catapult you to a place that you can't put a price tag on because you don't know what's in the future. But again, it begins somewhere and it should begin in a positive place. Unity says, I'm sorry that happened to you. I too have had bad experiences from time to time. Still myself. Yes, Unity. So again, and I'm sorry that that's happened to you. I'm sorry what happened yesterday, but I know exactly who you were talking about because the irony is, and you came in here late, but on my breaks, when things are live, I will see. You never know who is where. So when you had to impose your duties, if you will, Unity, I knew exactly where I saw that person in the same place as the other and another individual. And that's why I sat back in and out of sleep and just chuckled to myself like, if people, Patti LaBelle has a perfect song. If only you knew. I'm going to leave that right there. But people, you all, some, had no clue some of these people pop up. I don't want that attention. I don't need that attention. And that has nothing to do with my age. I've always been like this. My mom used to call me shamefaced. That's an old term, and many of you may not have heard of it, but I always, for some reason, walk with my head down. And she would get on me and would say, Gal, you don't hold your head up. Stop being shamefaced. Hold your head up high. It's probably an esteem thing. Who knows? I mean, little kids go through whatever. But it took me a while to get past that. But yeah, there are a lot of people out here in random places that I see, and I don't say anything because, again, I'm not bringing any attention to anything. And as I said before, and this is me, and wanting to truly respect the content creator and chat. Because of some of the differences people have, sometimes a person's presence can change the whole dynamic. So rather than cause that to happen, I may, not all the time, but sometimes I'll pop in to show support. I may throw something at them. I'll speak to a few and then I'll leave out. But as I said, unfortunately, some people truly do not know what certain people do or where they go. And that particular place was not a good move if they knew what I knew. So, Pandora's box, I'm sure, was open. Again, you you don't know who's connected to who knows what, who works together. You don't know who owns certain pages, but again, when your intentions come with motives, that's the risk you run. And no, I don't applaud anyone being disrespected. But to be fair, before you walk into a car dealership, you should probably do a little bit of research. Excuse me. Or get details about that vehicle before you take it for a test run. Oh, it's a reason, Unity. There's always a reason. Most of the time, it's either envy because they're unable to do what you're able to do, or they're not receiving the same. There's always a reason. We never know, at least initially. Later, things are revealed. That's what true discernment and observation is about. Like I said, there are so many cruel people out here, but you cannot control, unfortunately, what they say. You just have to do your best to rebuke it, ignore them, and keep it moving because it can, trust me, begin to grow inside you. And you don't want that. That's poison. And it's negative energy. And then if you go someplace else, you may unknowingly bring it there. And that is what was happening early on in my chat. I used to have more people, more supporters, because as I mentioned earlier, my supporting certain people, that all went left, but it was for the good at the end of the day. And there was some who, as I said earlier, would be like little ants that found a crumb from some bread, would take stuff here, take stuff there, and just start and keep things going. Again, you have some that are still young and may not understand, but then you have some older people that enjoy being messy until the messiness comes to your home and you're put on blast in front of social media. So again, if I were some of you, and this is just my personal opinion, if I were some of you, I would really research and observe and speak to people that are truly, truly in their faith and what it says for those that talk ill against them and what happens. I can jaw jack, and I've come out the bag a couple of times, and I've had absolutely every reason to do so. I don't anymore. I did what I needed to do, and I've moved on. And I harbor, as I said, no resentment, but it's just, I don't want to say comical, but it is in a way that there are some still following that same acumen. And again, as I mentioned, as I first started this, your reputation follows you. And just because I don't say a lot of things doesn't mean I don't observe. Some of you are supporting things out here that aren't even legal, but because you want to emulate others that are supporting things that are legal, and if something were to happen and you would need to find out, well, is this item, service registered legally in a particular state? Has it met all of the conditions or all of the licenses up to date? Slap it up there. And when the tax people come, because you know if any sales are generated, that should be reported. That can open up another rabbit hole. But that's a whole nother thing. And as adults, business people, these are things you should already know. Be leaders, not followers. Because some of these affiliations are going to land some people where they may not have expected to land. And I thank my Creator every day that I was removed, literally, from a certain area by what I will say is an agent of chaos. And chaos is not of the Creator. Again, this isn't meant to offend. This is the truth. Doesn't apply, let it fly. But it definitely applies to some. Stop intentionally hurting others' growth potential and names. That's almost always guaranteed to backfire in one way or another. Some of you think you're the only ones with a vocabulary. That myth needs to end as well. Because truth be told, and most speakers know, you consider the audience. with whom you're speaking to. Why would you sit there and use words 4 or 5 syllables when you know the audience may not even be at an 8th or 9th grade reading level? Is that to prop yourself up? To make you sound intelligent? It's just a question. Just something that I've observed. Do you enunciate each word properly? Have the proper tone or pitch? Nope. Be mindful of who you speak to and speak on. Be mindful of who you willingly give your loyalty to. I'm literally just shaking my head right now because I honestly do not believe some realize the seriousness of this as it relates to the people who are truly trying to build. And there are many, but they're in other areas. You don't see that. You don't hear that. I mean, you may hear squabbles here and there, but some of the down and dirty things that have gone on, some still, I guess, going on, it needs to stop because it's really cutting off the lifeline for those coming behind us. People oftentimes emulate what they see, especially if there are tangibles attached. And some people, unfortunately, put too much emphasis on tangibles. And I think, again, my opinion, that is a lot of the problem. Not with all. As I said, there are a lot of people that has extended knowledge, wisdom, and networking with others. I mean, I can't even begin to list, and I'm not going to. Some of you will just have to wait. But just keep your conscience clear. Now, I know there are people that believe not everyone has a conscience. I don't entirely agree with that. Sometimes some may be layered under a lot of their own pain that they may not be showing because it's too painful for them. So they morph into characters, or they'll say or do certain things to mask this type of pain. There's nothing funny in that, at least not to me at all. But that should not give anyone the green light to inflict pain on others because of what you're going through. That doesn't uplift. It does the exact opposite. It tears down. And again, not to sound crass, a lot of people see through your BS. And those who analyze and observe where your behavior is erratic, where you may be known, is completely different in a new area. So that tells me certain things can be controlled, while certain things may be used as a crutch. Again, at the end of the day, if that in fact is a practice of anyone, sooner or later it will backfire. And you or anyone else participating has no one else to blame but you. Again, no offense meant to anyone, but it is the truth. There are too many people out here trying to do their best to do the right things, while others are doing the exact opposite. If you have been wrong, you have absolutely every right to do what you need to do to make yourself whole again. But these other kamikaze missions some are on, to cause strife and upset and confusion and division, that's not coming from the place of good. And it comes back. There's no way in the world I want to live like that. That's not living, that's existing. And newsflash, it shows. I truly believe in my heart of hearts, people can change. People have absolutely changed. And I also believe it's never too late. But you have to first recognize and admit the issue and make a concerted effort to at least take the first step in doing something about it. There are many people that have come from dark places who have found themselves as motivational speakers, success coaches, to help others get through and be true inspiration and motivation to other people. Many of us came here, and when I say here, I mean YouTube, and we listened and were given examples about behavior. Somewhere along this journey, there's been a detour from that. Not for everybody, but for some. Prayerfully, everyone can get back on track. But again, it all begins within you. So hopefully this message is not meant or received in a negative way, rather than just to be a little bit more cognizant, because as I said, it does and can hurt other people, especially when you have groups that lump everyone into the same category based on what they may see or hear. Is it wrong? Absolutely. But it still happens. Still in 2022. When you know better, you do better. And I will not believe that the majority doesn't understand that concept. Rather, they choose you all enjoy the remainder of this beautiful Saturday in December. Again, it was not my intent, but this was on my heart after I gave thanks for a brand new day and had a chance to meditate and reflect. And I was led to speak on this. Thank you for those who left your comments, and if anyone listens to any of the replay and you have comments, you are more than welcome to leave them. And I hope I don't need to reiterate be mindful of the comments that you leave, because some of them are intercepted. And I'll repeat one more time. Those involved in any acts such as discord. And I'm saying this for a reason. I don't speak without a reason. Those can be subpoenaed. And again, this has nothing nothing to do with me. But as I said, you don't know who knows who, and you definitely don't know who I may know. It's just a phone call away. And some that popped up on here, and you all didn't even know. So keep that in mind. And with that, be safe, be well, and be healthier. Unity, I don't know if you are working today. If you are, please be safe out there. And if you are off, relax. And I looked up that Fitbit, and there are quite a few of them. I may put them on my community wall, and if you look, you can advise which one you think is the best. But that's a cute little okay, well make sure you get some rest while enjoying some of what nature has to offer. But I'm gonna put some, I don't know if it'll be today, perhaps tomorrow, up because I thought that was really cool. I did not know, I mean, I've seen a lot of people wear these things, but I didn't know that's what they were. Hey there, how are you, geeky girls? Happy Saturday to you. Yeah, I saw that, Unity. I don't want anything that's real bulky. Um, I don't know. My skin is a little bit sensitive. I mean, I will wear jewelry every now and again, but I don't want anything really bulky. So I want something that will provide all of the little information that it does, but I don't want it to be that large on my arm. Wonderful. Happy December, and if you celebrate, happy holidays. So I'll pick out a few. I think there are a couple that might be unisex, and then there are some, I think, just for females, but I'm not sure if they have all of the features that you spoke of. The ones I'm more concerned with is the heart rate and the steps. You mentioned that before. I was on Amazon and I was like, wow. And actually, they had a sale last week, but I said, I'm going to wait because I want to connect with you to see what you think might be the best. Because, like I said, they were cool, but a couple of them that had everything you mentioned, they look bulky. And like I said, I don't like a lot of that on me. So I guess I'll peruse Best Buy and check to see what they have to offer. As a matter of fact, I'll do that sometime tonight. I'll look at Best Buy for those. And I want to, well, they all, I believe, if I read everything correctly, should be waterproof. Google as well. Okay, I'll do that. But when you first said that, I was extremely excited. So that's what I'll do. I'll do that later on this evening. As I said, I'm going to leave out. Um, I'm going to be preparing for tomorrow's NFL Sunday dinner, which will be acorn squash and yuca. And I don't know if anyone has tasted that, but I think I'm going to make yuca fries. So hopefully that won't be an epic fail. The acorn squash I've done before, but this is the first time I'm going to attempt to make yuca fries. Oh no, Unity, I want you to enjoy your day. I appreciate it though. And please don't think when you offer to do things, if I say, no, that's okay, that's just me. I guess I'm so used to, for the most part, doing things on my own. I feel different or strange. Not strange, but I don't know. I'm just so used to doing things on my own. I guess I don't want to be a burden. That's the best way to put it on anyone. I mean, I can recall times where I was at my lowest, especially the people that I truly, truly cared about. And when I needed something, truly needed, some of the things were said. I'm like, you know what? If I can't do it on my own, I'm not going to ask because I do not want to go through that again. And yes, I understand people are different. Sometimes, I see, that's the problem with some. Words can really cut, and those wounds take a long time to heal, even those with the best intentions. So, this is why I say, and I had to learn too, you got to be careful of what comes out because you don't know how that affects people and how long it may affect them, unfortunately. So, I will, oh, that is so sweet, Unity. You make sure you get some rest and enjoy your Saturday. I don't want you to be sitting up there Googling when you could be doing something else. But I do appreciate it. I really do. But no, that is on my list because I've seen, like I said, so many people with those. And I'm like, what is that? What is that? Some are small and compact, but as I said, I am not sure if they have every feature that you are mentioning. But I don't like a lot of bulk. So if I can find something that's small and has, like I said, the heart rate and the steps and it's waterproof and durable, because for some reason I can destroy things quickly. I can't tell you how many car chargers I go through in a month. So it has to be durable as well. But I'll check too just to see. Oh, thank you, Unity. You're so sweet. Truly appreciate it. But let me skedaddle out of here. I cannot believe it's 11:36, at least here. It feels like I've been going all week, and actually, I have. Even with that little, what was it, snow slash, a little bit of ice and sleet. That's gone now. It is 43, so it all is melted. It's just puddles. And unfortunately, um, because of those puddles, there are quite a few accidents. So again, it's the 17th. People are still ripping and running, preparing, at least for those that celebrate the holidays on these roads, and they're not really paying attention to their driving. People are still looking down on their phones, or they're looking back at their kids who were playing in the back seats of their cars. Um, those are disasters waiting to happen. And the goal every day for everyone should be to arrive at your destination alive. So I try to be back in before it gets dark. That's not always the case, unfortunately, but that is where everyone should always wear the armor. Pray before you leave, pray before you get in, pray before you get out, and pray when you get back in. Or, depending on where you go, pray before you enter that area too. But that is just me. So, with that, unity, you take care of yourself. Platinum and gold, geeky girls. Who else was in here earlier? So do not want to miss anyone. Lakin, Just Valencia, Miss Queen, Christmas Seek, Roblox, Doors. I'm going to have to check that out. Drizzy and Darren. And if those that did not come up, but you're listening in from somewhere, you all be safe and well, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And that was my raw, uncut thoughts. Thank you, Unity. Everyone, bye for now, and thank you.